Anwar Barendse with us in studio, and certified financial planner, Wooding debt counselor and financial coach with 25 years of experience in banking, investing, and financial planning. We welcome him to the show to take us into the third official episode. We came from awareness into smart goals, taking a small break into our series. Brother Anwar, come on. I'm prepared for this evening. Brother Anwar signaling me, Imtiaz, don't forget we're taking a bit of a break from the series because we need to prepare for what is to come. But let's greet our wonderful guest this evening. I shouldn't say guest anymore. Part of the chairs and the furniture and the team officially, Brother Anwar, not Ridwan. Barendse. Assalamu alaikum, brother. How are you doing?
Wa alaikum salam, brother Imtiaz. I was waiting to see what new name I'm getting this week. But okay, we'll go with Anwar this week.
We'll go with Anwar and we'll see how the evening pans out,
Yes,
inshallah.
yes. So of course, yes, heading up to that crazy time of the year.
Yeah.
And we know what's happening. There's a mix of emotion, family pressures, and lots of clever marketing. And we know what it does is we end up buying things out of excitement, guilt, FOMO, the fear of missing out, or trying to please others. Then you get hit with all these Black Friday sales and December happenings that basically triggers spending on things we never really planned for.
Yeah.
Right? And what happens? Your income gets stretched a bit. Gifts, foods, extra takeaways. Nobody cooks in December. Everyone's buying.
Yeah. It's my time off now.
It's your time off now. Maybe go for a bit of a road trip. And then what happens? January comes around and it's 60 days long. January comes and it hits us by surprise every year. Every year without fail.
Can we turn the tides? Can we? My friend always tells me, Tiaz, you know what? We always go to the shops or we always go to the malls and we say, you know what? Wow, I saved. I got a bargain. I got everything 50% off. I would have spent 4,000 Rand and I spent only 2,000 Rand. Look at all the things I got. My friend always says, you know what? You didn't save 2,000 Rand. You spent 2,000
Exactly.
Rand.
I could have showed you how to save 100%.
It's like you said, Anwar. It's like you said. You said, Imtiaz. It is the marketing strategic gimmicks or the marketing strategies that you need to be wary of.
Yes, and it's become, the word that they talk about is consumerism, where we are almost not even taught, we are trained to need these things that we don't really need and to consume these things we don't really consume because it's supposed to make us happy. And we know come January, I don't know nobody's happy being broke in January. So a lot of it is false sense of urgency, false sense of need, a lot of temptation, and we're human.
Us as a Cape Town community, are we more prone to that kind of lifestyle? Are we more prone to feel more and need more?
Well, you see, especially in Cape Town, all it takes is anybody can go to the waterfront for a drive to Camps Bay and all of a sudden feel very, very poor when you see all the nice clothes and the nice clothes that everyone has. But beneath that all, we really know what's happening. And what happens is we compare ourselves to those people with the seemingly nice stuff, not knowing actually what's going on in their bank account. And then we put ourselves up to that saying, okay, I don't really have the money, but maybe I can swipe my card and get a Louis Vuitton bag and look rich, or, get that car with a massive balloon payment and look like I can actually afford it. And the pressure is real in Cape Town because you are judged by what you wear, you are judged by how your house looks, you judged by the car you drive, rather than what your bank balance is.
Wow. That's what it is.
Well, you shouldn't be judged by your bank balance, but it's a false image you're being judged against.
What a dilemma. Because I think to myself, you have a lot of extremes here in Cape Town. You have the extreme highs and the extreme lows.
Exactly.
And you in the middle, you want to determine where am I falling? Am I falling in the high or the low? And you feel even more displaced being in the center. If you don't go back to the first conversation, which was about awareness.
Correct.
And the second one, which was about being smart. So if we can, maybe, we do have some time in this first segment here, Brother Ridwan, just to give a very quick recap. We spoke about knowing your numbers, number one, and we spoke about knowing your plan.
Yes.
Right? And that is what took us into the past 2 weeks. Can we use what we've done so far? Now, I know we're taking a break from the series, but just as a very quick recap to catch everyone up that has been following the conversation thus far. We want to understand what can we use with what we have thus far discussed. to get into a better financial state.
So let's look at what is the big problem coming up? Overspending, right? And a lot of times when you overspend over this time frame, it's because you don't have a clear idea what our expenses really are. So if you've been underestimating, if you didn't really know your numbers and you've been underestimating what you're spending, right? All of a sudden, you thought you could spend X amount, but actually not. And then what you realize, but hang on, I thought I had this amount of money left. I'm actually going into the negative now. Come January, I'm even far back because you underestimated what your numbers were, what your expenses were, what your responsibility were. Now you add all that additional spending and obligations over this December, Black Friday. It then adds up to that. And if you didn't in the first place know where you were standing, then where you're going to end up now that you've not done all the spending, not knowing what you can actually spend. Basically, recipe to overspend. But it's easy. How do we get this right? You might think, but Anwar, isn't it fair? Don't have money, you don't have money. No, there's a little thing called credit. So what happens is, it's not like most people say, I only get X amount when it's up, it's up. What happens when it's up is, now you start going to credit cards. Now you start going to buy now, pay later.
They'll come to you.
They'll come to you. Actually, yeah, they'll come to you. I mean, if you look at
Anwar,
buy now, pay later. I mean, I can't open up my social media with the latest influencer saying, "Oh, buy now, pay later," and buy all these things that you don't need. And what's even worse, if you look at the comments, is the people's attitude like it's something great. So, if you can't afford it today, what means you can afford it, over the next 3 months? Or if you can pay it monthly, why not just save every month and then buy it? But we are being conditioned to think that it's great to buy things on buy now, pay later, to somehow scoring. That it's great to buy things on credit. I mean, one company said, get financial freedom with a loan. A loan that costs 28% per annum. How is that financial freedom? They did get fined for it. And that's what people don't realize. They're creating these things, create immediate satisfaction. But the come down is when you have to pay, because your future self is the one paying for it. So
that we have very little consideration of.
Yes.
So there's one thing here, one is coming up. Anwar.
Yes.
I was waiting for that. So, Brother Anwar, listen here. There's something important came to mind as you were talking. What I find extremely challenging is that it is as if there is a level of achievement that gets increased the higher your credit score is. So if I have a higher credit score, it's as if I've reached a higher category of achievement. So if I'm sitting at the 750 or 850 or 950 credit score, immediately I am tricked in believing that I've achieved a higher level of success. So people who take pride and people who take honor in understanding, look what this bank is offering me. This bank is willing to give me 150K. You know what I mean?
SMS.
Your bank is willing to give you 25K. So there's a sort of delusional, currency.
Yes.
And a delusional and how can I put this? It's a false sense of achievement. The higher my credit score, the higher vis-a-vis, the higher my achievement.
Your achievement. So,
I mean, that is a trick on its own.
So it's a trick. So yes, it feels good to qualify for the 150,000 and 250,000 loans that they just phone you and 1, 2, 3 over phone call money is in your bank account. You know what doesn't feel great? When you're paying that over a 5-year period and you end up paying double what you borrowed. Because that's how those loans work, in case the people don't know. Those loans that you get, the SMSs, and say you now qualify for 100, 200, I've saw 350,000. And by the way, these are people with incomes of around about 20,000 Rand a month. So it's not people with massive 100,000. People with 20, 25,000 getting loans for 200,000 Rand. But what's the real cost of it? If you look at the amount you borrow, you're effectively going to pay back double what you borrowed over a 5-year period. So if you borrowed 100,000, if you add all the interest, the fees, the various insurances you need to take out, you're going to pay back 200,000, if not more. Now, if you didn't have the 100,000 to begin with, where are you getting the 200,000 from? Or let's look at the credit card. Let's just swipe it. I have a nice limit. I can use my limit. I'm just going to pay the minimum monthly amount. Do you know how long a credit card takes to pay off if you only pay the minimum payment? Because they will say pay minimum of balance 5%. You know how long it takes to pay off?
Well, just give me a second quickly. I recall having this conversation with someone, and my own experience as well. 10 years?
Try 26. Longer than a bond, or as long as a bond. So remember, you're paying 20% plus interest on a credit
That's
card.
for the minimum installment.
Yes, because every time now you go on a Black Friday and you go for your 20, 30%, whatever percent sale,
Yeah.
right? Which firstly is a fake amount because they inflated the price.
Yeah.
But you buy with your credit card. You're going to pay double, if not triple that in interest because of the nature. It's 20% interest and you pay it off a year. You're better off saving up cash and paying full price. Is a better deal than buying a deal. Buying a deal or a sale with
That's
a credit
wild.
card with a loan, you're actually paying more.
That's wild.
You're literally paying more. You're literally better off saving and buying it cash at full price.
That is absolutely crazy to believe. Because if I have, like, let's look at about the 10K, right? I remember, in one fairy tale land, right? A 10K. So you're looking at about, that time when I'm talking about now, right? 2018, 2017. 10K loan, or rather that's a 10K credit card, and that is about the 350 Rand, 390 Rand on the lowest premium, right? Or the lowest installment that will allow for you to pay. That was at the time. And let's say a period, like you're saying now, I'm using my 10K, right? And I'm paying that 10K for the next, like you said, 26 years, okay? If I take that 350 Rand that I'm going to be charged, now you look at it like 10K, 350 Rand. That's nothing,
Exactly.
What's that? That's like 7-8 coffees. Sacrificing 7-8 coffees, I'm sorted, right? So if you look at it like this, if I take 350 in a 10-month period, I'm already 3.5K.
Yes.
If I'm saving that 10K. 2 years, I'm already here by the 7,000 Rand mark. 2 years. I'm on my 7K. As opposed to using my 10,000 Rand credit card, I will still be paying that 10,000 Rand back over 2 years. As a matter of fact, I'll only probably be, 10% completed with that loan?
Yeah. Not even. Because 20% is being added to that balance every time.
Wow. That...
And you're not making assumption that you don't use a card. Because what happens is you pay back your 300-400 Rand nicely every month. You'll see you get a phone call. Oh, we want to increase it. And what do you always say? Yes. Right? So you know that 10K limit becomes 15K, becomes 20K, becomes 50K. And when you spend on it, you don't think you spend 10K. You think, I've only created another 300, 400 Rand payment. I didn't spend 10K. And that escalates over time. And eventually what was a 300 Rand payment is now 5,000 Rand a month payment.
Good one. I'm trying to enjoy my decision. So thank you for that. We'll talk about the ins and the outs, the ups and the downs. It's something a little bit more, just to give us some solutions to our problem as well. Right?
Yes.
We were just using the segment for the recap for the past 2 weeks of what we've been discussing and going through. Inshallah, after our break, we're talking about why do people lose financial control over this time. We'll talk about about the traps, giving us the background. Where does Black Friday actually come from? We'll be talking about and move the discussion onto consumerism and how does it influence Black Friday and festive season spending. Do you need to be part of this conversation? Stay tuned.
Educator.co.za.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. We are minutes away from the Maghrib Waqt, the blessed Maghrib Waqt, alhamdulillah. However, we are here on a mission. Brother Anwar, what a story.
Yes.
This listener has to share. We need to get this
I
person
think it's an
online.
amazing story. Yes.
Listen to this. If you are interested to make any changes and believe in the possibilities of your life, I would say now is the time to take note. This person says, and I love, shukran so much, man. Shukran so much for sharing your story. Salam, presenter and guest. I love the personal message in that one. Mr. Presenter. I love that one. Salam, presenter and guest. How do you feel, brother? Honored.
It's better than Ridwan.
Okay. I trust you both are well and healthy. Just want to say something in general. I always heard people complaining every day they can't cope, but they earn a huge salary. I'm not ashamed. I love that message. I'm not ashamed to say what I'm earning. my first wage was 4,950 rand per month ages ago. At this moment, I'm earning 3,338 rand. That's a decrease per month, and I'm surviving. I own a car and a home after all my sacrifices. People must stop living above their needs. I'm going to have you take this one because, I mean, you're the financial planner, not me. What do you say for a message like this?
I say that we all can learn from that. Excuse me. So what I discovered is the higher income, remember higher income, nice high credit score. Let me take that loan out. Let me qualify for that 2, 3, 4 million rand bond. Let me take out that car that's 15,000 rand a month. Let me take that bond that's 25,000 a month. Yeah. All of a sudden, 100,000 a month, which anybody can agree is a fairly tidy sum of income compared to a 4 or 5,000, and they're not surviving. So, what is the difference between that? One word: habits. That is the difference.
Absolutely amazing. Well, here we have the story. Here we have the expert. Put the two together. You got yourself a biryani of note. Right? Different recipes and mixtures and stuff. Shukran so much for sharing your story. Please, I'll have, with Afaldi, let's take that number down. I want to call up this person. I want to get this person.
Maybe he can teach us something.
Shukran for that. I mean, you know, your humbleness is just a lot.
That's a lived experience.
It is, eh?
Yes.
It's a good case study. Shukran for sending through your message. Okay, let's find out the next one over here. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. It's a good program I heard on Radio Financial Gurus. Predict market 2036 crash as per 2008-2009. How does one protect one against a financial crash?
So I think it probably means 2026. Maybe just to give it a background, there's been a massive growth in the market in the last years, particularly the US market, where it's what they call very concentrated. So a large number of technology companies like OpenAI, Amazon, Oracle, etc. have been betting large on AI, and their prices have basically, according to most people, been inflated through a number of what they call fancy finance deals. Right? Now, when the market's inflated and there's no money coming through, which is currently what they're saying, all these tech companies' share prices are going up, and they make up a large portion of the US stock market, just 7 companies. When something, they call it a bubble, meaning the market is doing well, but the backing behind it has no substance. Now, that is the criticism. Some argue against it, some argue for it. And that is where the prediction is that things are just growing too fast, the market or returns going too fast, right? Now, how do you protect against yourself? How do you protect against yourself is to set your SMART goals. And if your SMART goal was, I'm saving for retirement in 20 years' time, you know what you do? You just keep on doing what you do. You don't change everything, because we had 2001 market crashes, 2008, go back further, the dot-com bubble crash. There's always been a pattern. And what's the known pattern is, if you weather the storm, it always comes out on top over time. So trying to time the market, trying to time where you must put your money, right, is not the right thing, but remaining invested is the right thing. So always say time. You don't want to time the market, not timing the market, it is time in the market.
Yes.
So the biggest mistake people can do is, if they have money invested in pension funds or unit trusts, and the market is to draw everything out, because then what happens? You create a loss. The market goes back up. Now you put in. Now you're going again when it's expensive. So if I'm using a bit of jargon, I apologize. But effectively, if you've set you set your SMART goals, you've chosen the right vehicle to invest.
Good.
What you do is just nothing. You just ride it out. Not trying to time market crashes and all these things is just a recipe for actually losing money. So if you invested with a sound investment manager, with a sound investment product, and it's a long-term investment, you just stay out. If it's money you need in the short term, then keep it in something safe that is not going to go up and down. So not Bitcoin or anything like that.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, just based on what you said now, I remember talking to a marketing guru the last time, and he mentioned something quite interesting, man. He said, weak investment planners, right, have a weak pull-out game.
Exactly.
So they're coming out too early.
Yeah.
But like you said, you ride the wave.
Yes.
You go with the up and you go with the down. And it's called strategic falling. It's like how the skaters talk about becoming a pro skater. It's learning how to fall.
Yeah.
It's not never falling. It's learning how to fall. to save yourself from more injury.
And
So that is just, I mean, Anwar, I know, I mean, these conversations can just take us above and beyond. So one comment just comes forward and says council workers need these tips for Thursday. Now, I think just that stigma alone, it goes beyond council workers.
everyone.
It goes to the biggest lawyers, the top attorneys, the biggest, engineers and technicons. So I would say that it's for everyone.
Everyone,
Whether
without
it's
a doubt.
100,000 or whether it's 10,000.
Everyone. Council workers, teachers, doctors, believe it or not. Doctors can be very bad spenders. Why? They have this promise, I qualified as a doctor, I'm going to earn this massive income. And who comes to
banks are
them?
gonna hunt me
The
down.
banks. Before you graduate, the banks are already offering you credit cards. Before you've even got your first pay slip,
Heard that one.
you already have a credit card. You are told you're a doctor, you can't drive a Toyota Corolla, you have to drive the latest German luxury car. You can't live where you grew up and need to buy in this area because you're a doctor. Before you know it, they're drowning in debt and your doctor is living month to month.
Subhanallah. Yeah, it just gets more and more shocking. Now, look, in the 1 minute we have left, let's just open up this very quickly here. We want to talk about the traps. We want to talk about how do I save myself, a bit of background. And you see, the more questions we ask, the more comes in, Anwar. That's the problem. Where does Black Friday actually come from in a minute?
So this Black Friday is actually an American tradition. So it stems from Thanksgiving, when everyone eats turkey the last Thursday in November.
Yes,
The Thanksgiving. And what traditionally happened was the day after Thanksgiving, people would start their shopping. It then became called Black Friday due to all the craziness and frenziness, but the retailers started adopting the name Black Friday to mean something else. It is the day they went from being in the red at the loss to the way they went into the black at the profit. So obviously realizing that this shopping boom after Thanksgiving created, when they go into the black, they then obviously went hard on the marketing on that, right? That was around about the 50s, 60s. Where it came to South Africa was around about the early 2010s. Now the difference is you have this Black Friday shopping spree happening in the USA, which is the world's richest economy. You bring it to South Africa where we're already struggling and you have a recipe for disaster. So effectively it's an American tradition that saw this, we can make people spend more money. It got imported like many things that we don't need. And now we go in the sprints and not even knowing why we have the sales. We just know we want to spend. So yeah, it's an American tradition and somehow we have fallen for it like this is something special for us.
The more you talk, the more it just comes to my mind, the lack of plan. If you have a plan, you won't be as easily enticed.
Exactly.
So inshallah, we have another story here. Inshallah, this is actually Ridwan.
You sure that?
That was Ridwan, yeah, Qasam. So anyways, we're going to come to Ridwan's story, inshallah. Yes. People are now sharing their stories, they're being inspired by the comments and the advices.
No, that's good to know.
We're going to go for a Maghrib package. When we come back, we're going to Brother Ridwan's story, inshallah ta'ala. When we come back, we go into how we can protect ourselves from this overly consumerism economy, inshallah ta'ala. Stay tuned. Let's go make Maghrib.
This segment is brought to you by the Financial Educator, helping you take charge of your money and your future. Visit thefinancialeducator.co.za.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. We just had our Maghrib waqt pass us by. Alhamdulillah, I hope everybody's done with the Maghrib Salah. If not, switch off the radio, go make your Maghrib, come back, inshallah. Okay. Brother Anwar, we have another story here. Okay. I was thinking of leaving it till the end, but let's just go through it very quickly. We'll reference it again at the end as well. This one says, Imtiaz. Okay, it doesn't say Imtiaz, just say Salam. My story of success with little money, if I may. When I started earning money, I did my living with half my salary. I struggled no matter what. The other half I saved and I invested. And alhamdulillah, the last 15 years, I am living off the other half, not even using the pension.
Wow.
Hope it makes sense.
Makes 100% sense. That is an amazing story. What I'd like to know is what drove that motivation to make that sacrifice.
Yeah.
Because there must have been something where he said, no, man. I've either seen this happen or I have this vision of a future for myself and I will make a sacrifice today so that my future self can benefit.
Yeah.
So what he made was a sacrifice when he was much younger to say, I'm going to do less now so that when I'm older, money won't be a stress. Yeah. And look what happened. And I'm pretty sure he doesn't get one of those sacrifices he made. He doesn't get one of those things that he maybe wanted but didn't buy. But how many of us bought something that we get by because why? We don't have any of that money. It's all gone. So that is actually a story I like to hear. Now, I know some people say 50% is quite a bit, and even I will say it takes a bit of extreme discipline to do that, but look at the reward.
Let's say, like you say, struggle, like the person, what did the person say? The person said struggle no matter what. Let's look at struggle. This is, how do you call it? This is struggle by choice. The struggle that we go through is struggle through where you can't control. Here in this scenario, this person can tap into the savings maybe anytime they want to, whatever setup they have, right? This is a wise type of struggle.
Yes.
The struggle that most of us do go through, Anwar, is one where we have no choice but to just go through it. And even sacrifice the things that we hold dear because of certain decisions, like you said. 5 months, 1-2 years ago, I made the decision to take this loan and I spent all the money and now I'm spending the rest of my days paying it up.
Yeah.
So
a quick note right on that. So when you save and invest and make a sacrifice for today, you are sacrificing today so your future self can benefit. But when you purchase something today with money you don't have, especially with a high interest loan or credit card, you are enjoying something today that your future self will have to pay for. The complete opposite. Which one do you choose?
Well, look, I mean, that's and Shukran so much, for sharing your story. We really do appreciate. We have 2 powerful stories so far.
It's amazing. It's amazing.
It's amazing how people are coming together and sharing where they came from.
Yes.
Powerful stuff.
And notice a common thread. None of them said they had massive millions amount of money. No big incomes. So the myth that you need a big income to become financially independent is just that a myth. And we have 2 callers who have proven it.
Ridwan, I mean, I'm talking to Ridwan, obviously I've mentioned, I'm talking to you, my brother, Shukran for sharing your story. But Anwar, we want to get into the conversation of how do we save ourselves from that and why it becomes so challenging. Like the person says, I struggle through it no matter what. The conversation is consumerism.
Yes.
Okay? And the question here is, in consumerism, we have the Black Friday influence. We have the festive season spending. We have the January that we sort of know already. Listen here, it's going to be a long month and I'm going to wait for my, my salary end of January. It's a 60-day long month, blah, 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 blah. The question here is, how do I save myself from this?
Okay, so the first thing you need to understand is the traps that are laid out for you. The primary one I call consumerism, right? So if you look at the word, they even call people consumers. So let's look at that word. What does it mean? Consumer, to consume, right? Yes. So yes, you can consume food, you can consume certain electricity, etc. But when you're talking about consumerism, we're talking about buying things and spending money, making the belief that if we spend money on things, it will make us happy. So that's just a consumerism. If you need happiness, spend money on nice things that will make you happy, and you will be happy, chappy, and you won't be sad. You will overcome all your joy, all those type of things. So what does it? Spoil yourself. So what it does, the marketing taps into that emotion.
Retail therapy.
Yes. Or it gives you an identity. Wear this clothes or this shoe or drive this car, and this is who you will be. Right. So what starts happening is we start defining ourselves by possessions, by what we consume instead of what we actually have. So what's the opposite of being a consumer? The opposite is being a builder. So if you have money, you can decide, am I going to consume this, meaning use it up on something that delivers no value whatsoever, or I'm going to use it to build a future like these 2 gentlemen have done. Wow. So in order to conquer the consumerist mindset, you need to adopt the builder mindset and realize that just having your money being consumed, look at the word consumed, eaten up, nothing left, nothing to show for it, and have problems after that, or make those struggles and sacrifices like Ridwan and actually say, hang on, guess what? Ridwan could probably go buy him something nice now if you want to. There's nothing wrong with buying nice things. Make no mistake, I like nice things. But is how we do this. We are doing it on credit. We are doing it emotionally. I need that thing, not because I need it because it's on sale all of a sudden. Right? So consumerism more is better, but in reality, less is better for your finances. So if you are putting your finances out the strain, if you are going broke, trying to look rich, you have a problem. There's
I go broke by looking.
So there's a movie, and I'm not going to quote it exactly because it will get me banned off the radio station, but
Oh, my
there's a
goodness.
saying that the movie said that we work jobs we hate to buy things we don't need with money we don't have to impress people we don't even like. It's from Fight Club, in case you want to wonder. So as I repeat that, we
One more
work
time.
jobs we hate. So think about why do you work a job you hate? Because you have payments. If you have payments, you can't quit your job. You can't go do something else. So you're trapped in that job because of payments. Now, some people love their job. I love my job. But how many people aren't stuck in a job? Why? Because of payments.
There's no choice. Whether
Payments.
there's something that you like, but they're going to pay a bit less. You can't even go for that.
Yes. So you're going to work a job you hate to buy something you don't even need with money you don't have because it's being bought on credit to impress people who you don't even like. But you need to show them, I am this person. I wear this clothes, I portray this image. Now, by all means, if we have the means, enjoy it, by all means. The reality is that is a very small amount of people. Most people, like I said, are going broke, trying to look rich.
Did we mention the actual traps? What are the Black Friday
So
traps?
the traps that come in there, firstly is shopping without a clear list of needs. Because what happens, because let's be honest, sometimes you think, hey, I've been needing to get a new TV. I've been thinking about it a while. I did my research and I looked at this and there's actually this new XY or this TV that is proper sale and I'm going to use this opportunity to score.
Okay.
And so there might be something that you actually want. So it doesn't have to, that you want, that you plan to get and you say, I'm going to take advantage of this.
Got you.
The problem is when you go in the store not knowing what you want and just buy something because other people are buying it or because it's on sale. Right? And what do you think? How many times don't we buy something just because we think it's a deal?
Yeah.
Like what the friend said, they save the 2,000 Rand. Well, how about you save the whole? It's not 50% off, it's 100% off if you don't buy it.
Yeah.
Right?
That's exactly what he said.
What some other taps is there's a fake sense of urgency created. Like somehow, magically, after Black Friday, this product is never going to be available again. Right?
Yeah, that's
That
really
fake
cool.
sense of urgency.
Oh, I'm telling you. That
If
is
you
a
don't
winner.
buy it now,
Yeah.
it's over. You never,
It's
I mean, no.
never coming back again.
And yet it always does.
Well, in actual fact, it's going to be triple the discount next month because they want to
The
remove
stock,
do a clear sale.
exactly. Right? Some of the other traps also is thinking you get a bargain and they say you was 2,000, now 1,000, but if you look further, it actually was 1,200 and now 1,000. So a lot of retailers were taken to task by inflating their before price. So don't be fooled by a before price,
Yeah.
right? Especially when it's advertised. The other one is buying emotionally
Buying emotion.
instead of logically. Once again, if it is something you want or need and you have planned for it and you're going to buy it with your own money, not with credit cards or loans. So that's the other trap. Buy now, pay later. I'm seeing it all over the place.
Yeah.
Buy now, pay later. Take this loan out and have a great Christmas. Take this and have a great Christmas. They don't talk about your January.
You've worked all year.
Exactly. But what about January? Guess what comes in January? You know the buy now, pay later? January is the later.
And now you already waited all month, but now that money is going to go somewhere else.
Exactly. And January is a real tight. So yes, you did your Black Friday shopping, buy now, pay later. And you stuck when? When you have the least amount of money. So how does it even make sense?
How do we save ourselves? Can we protect ourselves from this? Is there any way out here? Can I be wise? Can I still, do what I, do what makes me feel comfortable, but at the same time be safe?
Yes, of course. So remember, this is not to say everyone must now all of a sudden go in a hole and not buy anything. It's say be wise with your choice. Number one, if you're buying it on credit, don't buy it. That's the first rule. Because you explained already, even mathematically, you're not going to score. You're actually going to end up paying more because of the interest on the credit card. Rather save up, buy it cash. Right? So if you're buying on credit, you're taking out a loan, that's automatic red flag. That's a big no. Right? Then if you do want to get some stuff, make a list and stick to it. because your list will be aligned with what you can afford, and if you stick to what you can afford, you stick to your list, you can still have fun. I mean, let's be honest, shopping is fun, but do it with your own money, not with credit.
And with the planning, like
And
you
with a
said.
plan, right? If you didn't need it last month, you don't need it Black Friday.
All of a sudden there's a need, eh? All of a sudden there's a need.
Exactly. So ask yourself, just when you're about to swipe that card, when you're about to take that loan, will your January self appreciate it or not? So speak to your future self, and say, what will my January self say to me? And it's very easy. Go back to last January and what did you say to yourself? I'm not doing this again. I don't want to feel like this again. And we have amnesia. Come December, it's back to this. So just think of how your January self would feel if you have no bills.
My January self. That's an interesting conversation.
Yes, because
my January self.
Because we all have this summer, December selves. But what about our January? And we're quick to celebrate. It's festive. It's time to be festive without knowing that January self is going to pay for December's festivities.
There was a saying now that came to my mind, but obviously it's not radio
friendly. I know exactly what.
You know what I'm
saying? It's a sparkle, and the listeners can complete the rest. Whatever they want to fill it in is there.
So actually, what's very interesting here is that we all have a January reality. Okay, so it's an extremely interesting conversation here, Anwar, because I take the month of December and November, or whatever the plan now, leading up to this big month, and I will do whatever I can to enjoy it to the extreme, not even being conscious of the 11 months I'm going to pay back that decision. So that's why the introduction of the January conversation is a very interesting one. Okay, now very quickly, because I see that we are running on our time here. Okay, we're saying if we move into December, we spoke a little bit about why people lose control of their spending during the festive, right? It's all of the marketing, it's all of the promotions, all of the things that are put in your face. That's the there was something interesting that you said. Yeah, I'm just trying to get to it
that
now.
Urgency that's created.
It's the urgency that's created. It's the major discounts. It's the never again deal that is presented to you, right? So those are things that are pulling you in. Okay, and you spoke a little bit about the way families must avoid the classical January financial shock. Now, I know we spoke a little bit about values.
Yeah.
Can we link this to this preparation?
100%.
Now, values and how this can help people stay disciplined during this time.
Correct. So, for example, now remember we're talking about December and spending, but what if your value is, for argument's sake, you want to spend time and you want to entertain your family? How do you do it?
Yeah.
Well, instead of spending money you don't have in December and having to pay it back, why not say, come January or maybe February, I'm going to put away 1,000 Rand a month for 10 months, and come December, I have 10,000 Rand and I can enjoy it. You can go eat out when you want to eat out. We can go for the drive, and guess what? You're not doing it on credit. You're doing it on your amount. So whatever your amount is, 2,000, 5,000, 10,000 for December,
amazing.
Break it up into 10 amounts.
I love that.
Instead of repaying a loan, pay yourself. And guess what? You can still have a great December without the January worries, the Januaries.
Anwar, let me say one thing here to you now. What I find extremely difficult in this conversation is that some people will come to you and some people will say, Anwar, that now requires that I needed to have started 10 months ago already. What can I do considering I did not start in January or February or March? And now you're giving me this advice. And does that mean I can't do anything in this month of December? That's a real question.
It's a question. My thing is, once again, discipline, right? Know your numbers. Know what is coming in.
Love that.
Know what's going out.
Back to the previous conversation.
Then you can say, hang on, I can free up a 1,000 or 2,000 or 3,000 extra by clearing it up. If you're doing that, by all means. So that I would say, first find out exactly. But if you do your numbers and you say, hey, but hang on here, I'm just about breaking even here,
Yeah.
don't go put yourself in a bigger predicament. Make a sacrifice. I've done it. Lots of people then say, this December I'm actually going to take it easy. I'm actually going to not get pulled in. And you'll be amazed what 1 December of just avoiding not all the matters, what you end up, but this is actually nice, not having to spend money every weekend,
Yeah.
So try that even.
Anwar, if I can do this now, I mean, we're obviously trying to form a community. People are sending messages, people are sharing their stories.
Yes.
There's 3 comments I'm going to go to.
Please do.
Because, so what I want to do, because we only have about 2 minutes left, we must wrap it up, right? So what I want to do here, right, is it possible? Because we're building a community.
Yes.
A community of not savers, but a community of better
financially fit community. Financial fitness.
So can we make pledges?
Yes.
This is going to be my pledge for the month of December that I'm going to save for January. Or this is the plan I'm going into, because I mean we have a very short window here.
Yes.
We are ending the month of November in this week. So let's maybe come up with something next week, Brother Anwar. Think about what you can do. We're going to invite everybody on this journey with us. Imagine that. For the entire December, we have an accountability group.
And guess what's next week's topic is taking control. How to build a budget that works. Because that's a word
budgets
that works.
Building communities.
That works. Not one that restricts you, one that allows you to live your life.
Not one that restricts, but one that allows.
Allows you to live your life and spend with purpose and intention.
People, it's not about restriction, it is about allowing. Can you think about something for us for next week, inshallah?
Inshallah.
We're going to have a community.
Yes.
We're going to have we have our 4 more people are just coming in. More and more and more. Right? So we're going to get these people on board with us, inshallah.
Yes, inshallah.
We're going to form a community and we're going to make a commitment. Each one must state their commitment for January, inshallah. So we're a bit more than just talk here.
Yes.
We're about action takers.
Well, as a financial coach, this will be our financial team.
Brother, please, we need to wrap up here. We can't start another conversation. Okay, so let's do this. Anwar will get back to us, inshallah, the financial fitness coach. He's going to give us a program next week, Tuesday. Inshallah, please, everybody join us. We're going to start 7 o'clock sharp next week, inshallah ta'ala. Right? This is being recorded. We're going to have to stream this as well. Next week, everybody must tap in. If you want to be part of the community, you need to say, I, me, my. Or something very similar. I just said the first thing that came to my mind. We're going to all make a commitment. We are all going to say, listen here, this is going to be our mission for December.
Yes.
Once we make the commitment for December, then we're going to make the commission. Then we're going to come into January and we're going to say, this is the money I want to have by the 15th of January. This is the money I want to have left by the 20th of January. And as research says, Brother Anwar will obviously be the better one to tell us that when you write it down, you have
I was going to say that now. It needs to be written down. It needs to be written down. Mustn't be hiding in your head because you're going to forget it. Write it down and put it on your fridge. Use pictures, use a vision board, whatever you need to do, but it needs to be a physical reminder when you wake up. You say, oh, whoop, that is my goal. Let me not deviate. Every time you go to the fridge, your bathroom door, any place you're going to see the mirror, anyway, remind yourself.
The WhatsApp financial fitness community will also keep you accountable. So very quickly, I have 4 I'm going to go through very quickly. Shukran so much. Assalamu alaikum for the informative program. Please advise if purchasing gold Kruger hands are more rewarding than investing with a bank. Well, we'll come to that maybe later on.
So we're going to cover the building your wealth and building assets and investments in one of the later steps.
Building wealth, building assets in the later steps, 2062.
So we can park that. Maybe if we get some time next week, we can park, but it is a valuable question to ask.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for the valuable question, Shukran Jazeelan. Yo. My husband and I have been saving for a new gaming console. Last month, we saw one for 9K. Now we saw the same one on Black Friday deal. The before price was Suma 12K and the deal was now 9K. That's how they catch you.
Exactly. There we go.
But now because you're monitoring the markets, you can actually see what they're doing to you.
Exactly. And by the way, if you're saving up for it, once you have money, you have my blessing to buy the console.
No, absolutely.
By all means.
That's 2 blessings.
By all means.
Your way. That's two blessings
Exactly.
coming your way. I fully agree. The next one comes forward and says, just they should mention the real reason we have problems with money, because having a bond, having car installments is against Islamic law. We will never come right. And we always find an excuse. Muslims should be helping each other and not disobeying the Quran. How can you live in a house that is covered with interest? Astaghfirullah. Shukran so much for your comment that came through. Maybe we'll touch on this as well.
That is something we'll
I know
touch
we
on.
sort
So
went through
let me just say one thing. So obviously the listener is saying, how can you live in a house that's by interest?
Yeah.
At least a house is an asset. What if you are consuming and buying things you don't need on interest,
Oof.
that you don't even need?
Oh my goodness. You know,
One could make an argument you need a roof over your head, and there's various schools of thought, but if you are paying 20% and you are consuming goods that bring no value, that is another question all on its own.
Absolutely. You know, Anwar, I say one thing and you just say another thing. You know, I'm just, being more amazed by the more you talk. So anyway, I'm going to go into the last one. We're going to have to stop the questions coming in now. Very quickly, last two. Most often that we have is not what we want. What we want may not be what we need, but what we need is most often what we really have. And that's
Couldn't have said it better.
That's a good summary to what we were talking about.
Couldn't have said it better.
People are listening, eh?
I'm glad. Alhamdulillah.